See if I can find the tender that I'm looking for here. Come on, Evil Bay. There. They want how much for that tender? Forget it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I call myself Postwar guy, but I've been getting into a lot of pre-war lately, which means I got a lot of parts left over from repairing some of these pre-wars. And all of these things, these are all like gold to me, all these little bits and pieces I can pull off of some of these. So I've been saving them, and I'm glad I did, because now I can rebuild or build, scratch build, put together, whatever, something that I don't have for my pre-war locomotives. And that's a cool looking tender. So this particular tender I don't have with this coupler. And I want one because I think this tender looks cool, and I want to run some of my pre-war rolling stock with this instead of the usual square boxy tin plate thing that I just don't particularly like. I got this shell and its base, which you can see is kind of rough, and I got all these wheels here and one good coupler left. So I am going to take this shell and this base, clean this up, steal some wheels from one of these pre-war, and build myself a pre-war 1666 tender. So right away I know I'm going to be using this here because this is the only one that has a good coupler on it of this style. So I'm going to be stealing the wheel off of this one. And I don't know, I might steal the wheel off of this tanker because this thing is shot. Let's pull the wheels off of this, which means let's pull the body off of this and drill out that rivet. And let's just start there. All right, so those wheels are pretty rusty. And I guess clean up those wheels. So let's start with that. So a lot of the pre-war stuff, it's pretty easy. It's just little tabs that are bent over, holding this top down onto this bed. So all I need is a flathead screwdriver like this one, and I'm not too concerned about breaking these tabs or scratching this bottom. So, and there we go, we got that off. Now there are still good parts on here even if I pull these wheels off. These couplers, if you've ever tried to buy them on eBay, they're ridiculously expensive. So whenever I come across some extras, I hang on to them. So these ones are riveted on, which means I'll have to drill out that rivet to get this out and then figure out how I'm going to reconnect it. Now a lot of the wheels that I've found that were formerly riveted in that people have replaced, they use a screw and a nut. I'm hoping to avoid that because I just think it looks stupid. And that nut eventually will come off, and you got to keep taking the body off to tighten up the wheel, and forget it. The other issue with doing that is eventually maybe I can find a whistle unit for this tender, and if I got these big bolts sticking out of the bottom, that might interfere with the whole whistling mechanism. So again, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try and put some rivets back in to hold these wheels down. But first, I got to get these wheels out. So let's get the drill set up and drill these suckers out. And just fling it apart like that. Alright, so there we got all the rust off of these wheels. Those are looking really sharp now. And I am now going to get the set of wheels off with the coupler on it. So I'm going to be a little more careful taking this boxcar top off, because this is a good shell still. And I actually would like to have a replacement of it with the older pre-war coupler style, these ones here. That said, I'm going to get my little screwdriver here and start flipping up these tabs, but I want to do it a little more carefully. Aha! So these guys are the old pin style, so I don't need to rivet them at all. Well, doesn't that just change a few things? So you just get your screwdriver, pop this retaining ring up. I could definitely work out in my favor here as far as ease of replacement, because all I got to do is this. Clip all that stuff back on, bend the tab back down, and that's on. As far as the other side goes, I think what I got to do here, it's got these stopper tabs, which I don't really need because they're going to get in the way right now. So I can just push them down. I could also break them right off at this. They don't really matter too much to be there. So I've got my little arm where the locomotive connects into. I've got my new trucks all set up. So this setup is going to work perfectly well. And it went by a lot easier than I thought. And then I'm going to drop the shell on, and I'm going to have my pre-war tender that I wanted. But before I go fastening all this stuff down permanently, so we'll get this sucker back up again, like so. I think I want to give this frame a little bit of a clean, and maybe just a quick shot of paint on it, just to make it black again. I mean, why go through all this trouble and leave it looking this crummy? Okay, so I used the wire brush from the Dremel to get some of the fine stuff off, and the wire brush from the drill to get the heavier stuff off. Gave it a quick sanding with some 220 sandpaper. Washed it off there in the laundry sink to get any of the residual powder or whatever else might have been stuck on there off. And now I'm just going to hit it with some Rust-Oleum black satin, primer and paint all in one. Get this nice and solid black again, and then come back when this is all dry and put those wheels on and get this sucker on the track. You know, I didn't do a full stripping on this one. I'm not really trying to go for a restoration or anything like that. I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit. So first of all, we're going to get the rear trucks on. So as I said earlier, this was a great little surprise, seeing that this was a clip-on type. So we just dropped that washer on first, and then the retaining clip, and then pushed all of this down and locked that into place. So there's our rear truck. Now the front truck, we're going to have to do a little bit more with, because we need the arm that connects to the locomotive, then the truck, and then we're going to have to get a rivet in there and fasten the whole thing down. So let's get our rivet gun right here. We got our rivet, and we can set this whole thing up. We'll put all of this together, drop our rivet through, hopefully have plenty to grab. So since we're doing that, let's get an extra washer on the top just to make sure everything's biting properly. Probably could paint the rivet afterwards, but I'm not going to go that far into it. Oop, let's just smack everything out of the way here. Let's get our rivet gun in, like so. Get my fingers stuck out of there. And let's assemble the whole thing together. So get a couple pumps here. And there we go. So I'm glad I put a little bit of grease on there because the rivet made this really, really tight. So I want to make sure that this thing is actually going to turn when it hits the corners. As you can see, it's not as loose as this one is. There we have the chassis. We got our pre-war wheels on our post-war chassis, and now we can just drop on the shell. So there we go. We have our converted post-war to pre-war Lionel 1666T tender. Just by using some spare parts that I'd hung on to, and I'm glad that I did, because they come in handy, as you can see, for a lot of different reasons. Restorations, modifications, maybe even some scratch building if you have to. So what I'm going to do is we're going to throw this on the track, and we're going to see how this lead truck actually works when being pulled by a locomotive. So let's head over to the tracks right now. All right, so here we have our newly converted post-war 1666T Lionel tender to a pre-war, and this was the reason I wanted to do it, to hook them up to these beautiful Pullman cars and have locomotives like the wonderful 726RR of mine to be able to pull them all in style. So everything's looking good. Let's see if that front truck can manage these turns, and if it does, let's just have a little fun watching this go around. So there we have it. We have our completely converted Lionel, all from some spare parts that I'd hung on to, and I'm glad that I did. I mean, it doesn't have a whistle in it. Yeah, the shell's a little bit cracked right here, but you know what? It's doing what I want it to do, and I didn't have to pay $100 and something on eBay or wait till the next train show. Guys, I can't stress enough how important it is to, when you're out at the shows or something, pick up some junker cars, pick up some junker locomotives. There's always good parts. There's always good usable parts on all of these things. Pre-war, post-war, modern. I'm sure even the legacy stuff, if someone's junked it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't get into the legacy, but definitely for pre-war and post-war, it's worth $5-10 for some of these things. Heck, these pre-war cars that I got here, I got them for $5 a piece. $5 a piece, because they were going to be junked. Little bit of cleaning up and they look beautiful. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to sit here and have some fun watching this sucker go around. Maybe put some smoke in this 726RR.